Hi everyone, my name's Kara and I'm a program specialist with Girl Scouts Heart of Michigan, and today I'm going to show you an activity that Daisy Girl Scouts can do to earn their Zinni petal for being considerate and caring, or anyone can do if they want to show some love for the earth and the animals that share the earth with us. What we're going to be doing is making some DIY bird feeders using supplies that you can find easily at home or out in nature. Let's get started.
So while I get set up here, let's talk a little bit about birdseed. I'm going to be making my bird feeders using birdseed, which I purchased from my local grocery store. But if you can't get birdseed, not to worry. You can use peanuts, peanut butter, sunflower seeds, and whole grains like brown rice and sugar-free cereals. So while you see me filling this dish here with some birdseed, you could just as easily use some Cheerios. Now it's important to note that some foods should never be used for feeding birds, and these include things like milk, dairy, chocolate, and table scraps, since these can be toxic and also attract nuisance animals rather than the birds that this was intended for. So you see me here using peanut butter, which was included in that OK at Home Foods list. So the first type of bird feeder I'm going to make uses pine cones. See here that I tried to pick pine cones that were open so that we can get lots of good birdseed in there. You can find these in a public park, backyard, or even purchase them from a craft store if you prefer. So to get started, you're just going to cut yourself a length of twine or string, and I'm going to take this string and tie it around the top of each pine cone. Now when you do this, you can use the prongs of the pine cone as a guide like you see here. And when you tie it, make sure you do so tight enough that it doesn't fall. I learned this the hard way once. Next, I'm taking around a tablespoon of smooth peanut butter and applying it to the outside of each pine cone using a butter knife. You can use chunky or smooth peanut butter, whatever you have on hand is totally fine. And now this part can get a little bit messy, so it's a good idea to put a cutting board or tablecloth down before you start. When you've coated the outside with your peanut butter, the final step is just to take a shallow dish of your feed of choice, so you see my birdseed here, and roll the pine cone in the mix to coat. Once the pine cone is coated in the birdseed or your feed of choice, just pop it in the freezer until you're ready to hang it outside. For the second bird feeder, you'll need a plastic container of some kind. Here I used a milk carton and this was a water jug. The first step is to get an adult's help to cut some windows in the side of your feeder. Now this might look different depending on the shape of the container that you choose, but just make sure you cut enough holes that the birds can get to your bird feed easily. About 2 to 4 should do it. I also took my knife and made some diagonal cuts here in the bottom of my feeder, and this is going to allow me to add some ledges. Here I took a stick I found in my yard and I am just inserting that into the bottom of my feeder through that slit I just showed you and sticking it through the container to the other side. This way birds can use the stick as a perch while they feed from the feeder. And now I'm just going to take another stick and do the same thing on the other side so that I have 4 ledges on my feeder. And to hang my feeder, I'm just taking a length of the same twine that I used earlier, but instead of tying it around the bird feeder, I made a couple of additional holes in the top of my jug that I'm going to run the twine through. Get an adult's help for this step if you're hanging your feeder like mine. Voila! Now with our twine ready to go, our bird feeder is almost complete. The only thing left to do now is fill it up with our bird seed or your bird feed of choice and hang it up. We hung our pine cone bird feeders on these tree branches, We decided to hang them at different heights on the branch because different birds actually feed at different levels of the tree. So if you're trying to feed a specific species, get an adult's help and do some research to find out where you should hang your feeder. If you have a first floor window at home and a hook with a suction or sticky back, you can also use this cool trick to hang your feeder. Make sure the exterior glass is clean and then attach your hook to the window. Hang your feeder using the twine like you see here and enjoy watching your birds visit from right outside your window.
We hope that you have so much fun making your DIY bird feeders. We would love to hear how this goes for you and see photos of your creation, so please feel free to share in the comments. Thanks so much for watching and I hope you have a great rest of your day. See you later.